Happy Friday the 13th, everybody. It's John Weigell here with Maria Gharib from the Mindstream newsletter, and this is the Hustle Daily Show. Apple just had a pretty big week. Although what the company did announce might pale in comparison to news coverage of what it didn't announce: sufficient AI upgrades. Apple has had a bit of trouble keeping up with companies like Microsoft and Google in the AI race, so what did they come out with at WWDC, and was it enough? We'll get to that in a bit, but first, let's give you the news in business and tech. Starting off with some more AI here, we're in for a big AI lawsuit, people, and it's about damn time. Midjourney, the AI image generating giant, is getting sued by a team of Disney and Universal for copyright infringement. The suit refers to Midjourney as a, quote, bottomless pit of plagiarism, so this is going to be real fun to cover in the next few months. Next up, one state is getting a big cash dump from big tech money. Amazon is set to invest $20 billion in Pennsylvania to extend its AI services there. The company said this investment will lead to over 1,200 new jobs in the state, such as data center engineers and network specialists. Coming out of AI for a second, though, after many years of dragging IPO news in fintech, financial app Chime is set to buck the trend here. While the app's current IPO price tag is well below expected at $24 to $26 per share, the offering sets the stage for other fintech listings to get into the game as soon as possible after a long drought. And finally here, adding protein to everything remains very in, and even Starbucks is getting on the trend, developing a cold foam packed with over 15 grams of protein. It'll be available for your coffee, drink, or meal. Someday soon, I'm sure. You can probably put it on everything. Okay, look, side hustles fail when they consume all of your time. I mean, every single bit of it. The pros, though, work smarter with AI doing all the heavy lifting. To help you out, we just dropped the Side Hustle Accelerator database. You can search your exact problem for your side hustle, grab the perfect prompt, and get results. If you're struggling with marketing, content, and customer service, it's all solved in just seconds. This isn't just another tool, guys. It's your unfair advantage in a spreadsheet. So stop asking AI the wrong questions and start scaling with what actually works. You can get it for free in the link in our show notes. And you can stop right now, actually. Why don't you take a look down at those show notes and tap the link? You don't want to sleep on this. Okay, on to our main story today. As mentioned above, today we're with Maria from the Mindstream newsletter to discuss the latest AI news involving Apple's WWDC conference. Let's get into it. Maria, welcome back. Pleasure to have you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So first thing, let's start off with what we do every week, and that's the most interesting AI thing that you've come across the last week: feature, product, anything of the like, news story even. What has really piqued your interest in the last week?
Well, I think it piqued everyone's interest because this week, OpenAI had a tiny meltdown. It was a very, very casual meltdown. Biggie, but people lost their minds. I myself lost my mind. So what happened is that earlier this week, ChatGPT, Sora, all the API, they all decided to take an actual nap right as everyone on the West Coast and the world was logging into work. So OpenAI called it partial outage, quote unquote. But when ChatGPT 4.0 started throwing too many concurrent requests errors, like it was a stressed out barista, it's more than just a small, tiny glitch. It wasn't your usual, we'll be back in 15 minutes kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Oh yeah, it dragged into Tuesday morning and for some people Wednesday. And it came at the exact same time as OpenAI was like flexing about like Altman announcing 80% price cut for devs, that they hit $10 billion in annualized revenue, and they got a shout out from Apple at WWDC. So huge PR week, minus the fact that their servers were basically held together with a duct tape, but huge. And I think they've said it themselves, their GPUs are melting. And we know, get it together.
Yeah. No, that's a pretty big deal because that outage, it communicates a lot because a lot of people are becoming more dependent on ChatGPT and its uses, and it could stop working tomorrow, potentially. There's outages. We have outages all over social media and in the internet, and AI is no different. So it could just not work one day and you're just kind of left alone with your thoughts.
Literally, yeah. Like, what am I supposed to stare at?
What am I supposed to look at?
I need to talk to someone.
Exactly. And, speaking of talking to people, a lot of talk has been happening about Apple's WWDC. You just brought it up. I think we could dive into that because there's lots of reveals there, live translation capabilities, group chat upgrades, but strangely, not exactly many AI updates or the AI updates that everyone was hoping for. So how do you think Apple's AI is faring right now in the general ecosystem?
So, Apple showed up with WWDC with like live translation, group chat upgrades, and a whole new aesthetics for iOS, which is cute. But let's be real, like AI-wise, it kind of gave like a soft launch.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone was waiting for Siri to get her glow up and get her stuff together because she's been very confused. It has been very confused lately. But Apple said, she's not ready yet and please respect her journey. But no, I'm not gonna get it together. Investors were not very impressed. We saw some stock dipping right after that announcement.
Oh, yeah.
But still, Apple did introduce something called the Foundation Models Framework, which lets developers run AI on device without needing the cloud, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
They're clearly trying to do AI the Apple way, which is like slow, private, polished, sleek,
Mm-hmm.
But while Microsoft, Meta, Google, and everyone is like sprinting the AI Olympics, Apple's still stretching on the sidelines. Also, I think we spoke about this last week. OpenAI and Johnny Ives are apparently working on their own AI devices. So That's Apple's X building a rival, which is messy. That's messy stuff.
Yeah, 100%. It is kind of getting a bit tugging my collar for Apple over here because they're going at their own pace, as you said, and they're kind of figuring things out as they go along, which is what they usually do. A lot of the products they launch were already created before. They just created them in an Apple way. So I think that's kind of what I'm feeling for their next big AI launch and series, big glow up, as you said. Another one of the things that they mentioned is they kind of opened its AI model to developers. So it seems like they're kind of looking for maybe some kind of AI partner to get on board with them to help accelerate them. Did you pick that up too?
Yeah, I mean, they did crack the door open. For the first time ever, they're kind of letting third-party developers play with their own on-device AI models, which basically it gives developers a direct line to the same tech powering Apple Intelligence, which is nice. You can now plug into their LLMs with 3 lines of Swift code. That's like a barely had coffee energy, which is what everyone needed.
Yeah.
But obviously there's a catch. The idea is that with everything happening, can Apple go solo?
Yeah.
Can it go solo? Probably not. They got the hardware game on lock with everything. Yes, their whole brand is built around, we don't need anyone, we're very independent. But AI is a different beast right now. We're talking massive computer power, lightning fast iteration, and open models improving by the week, by the second. So right now, Apple's strategy is very Apple, and it's very private, it's very polished, but their models are run on device. That's cool for privacy, and it also means they're playing with smaller tech. If you think about it, it's like trying to win a Formula One race with a Prius.
Yeah.
And no shame to Prius owners. I'm sorry I have to say this, but you can't win a race.
Very true.
So, yeah.
A lot of other these companies are really supercharging their efforts to get more into AI while Apple is kind of lackadaisically figuring out what it's going to do next. Like one of them being Meta, who this week came out to say that they're pursuing super intelligence, whatever that means. What do you think something like that really means, and how do you think it's going to play out for them? Because it seems like Mark Zuckerberg is really gung-ho on being the number one AI company in the world, but I'm not sure anybody really knows what he's trying to get here.
Yeah, I think the Zucks, he's officially entered mad scientist era.
And it feels like
he doesn't just want Meta to make a smart AI. He wants it to make super smart AI with super stuff. So AGI level, think like a human, run everything from your glasses kind of smart. I understand, he's in the manifestation era. So he's personally assembling what insiders are calling super intelligence group, which sounds like a Marvel squad.
It does.
It sounds like a very expensive HR nightmare. And it's poaching top talent, offering wild 9-figure packages, and even setting up WhatsApp groups, calling them recruiting party, just to hunt for AI brains. So the move comes after Meta's last model, which is Llama 4, And it kind of flopped. Like this is coming after it flopped. And internally and externally, developers are like, this isn't it. So also we need to mention that they've shelved its next model with the code name Behemoth.
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to every Ghost fan out there. This is giving year zero. But it didn't really seem like a really actual upgrade, which is, it's classic move for them. We can't launch this. This is not going to slay. We're going to wait on this.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, OpenAI, Microsoft, Google, and Amazon are already miles ahead, pouring billions and billions of dollars into models that actually work. And in Microsoft's case, printing stock gains while doing it. So Zuck's making a late but serious power play, which is understandable, but reportedly with a $10 billion investment into Scale AI to help train better models. So a manifestation era, but calm it down, bro.
Yeah, I know. He's doing quite a lot. I mean, this is also coming after a ton of layoffs in the past year for Meta. So I guess we kind of know where all that money is now being repurposed towards, which is this, as you said, super intelligence superhero or supervillain team, maybe?
Super intelligence group, yeah.
Super intelligence group. Would love to know where their evil lair under the lake is, whatever lake they decide to commandeer. But last thing here, Maria, going to Google, because we talked about all these companies like Google and Microsoft doing a lot extra. For Google, they're saying news sites are reporting a lot less traffic because of Google's new AI features. It seems like these features are really, really dominating search now in a way that other sites like Perplexity are trying to do as well. But it seems like these news sites are really being hit hard by the lack of traffic from Google. And instead, people are getting AI summaries on Google instead of the actual news article. So what do you see happening with this in the future? Are we going to see more of the same?
Yeah, honestly, if I was a writer, I used to write blogs and I would be frustrated as well. But also we have to kind of find a way to be at the same pace as everyone in the race. Mm-hmm. So Google's kind of turning into that friend who borrows your stuff, repackages it, and acts like they made it themselves, which is annoying. And with AI overviews and AI mode and everything else, it's giving users instant summaries and people aren't even seeing blue links anymore, let alone clicking them.
Yeah.
In my case, because I look up some stuff from even on ChatGPT and Google, and it's kind of very beneficial for me just to get a summary of everything.
Oh, sure.
But people from HuffPost, WAPO, Business Insider, and they're all losing massive, massive traffic. And some are already cutting staff and they're saying, we're going to pretend Google sends us zero traffic and just move on. So that's how real it's actually getting.
Yeah. It's crazy.
If Google is pulling from your reporting to feed its AI engine, it makes total sense to ask, where is the check? So especially when some publishers are in lawsuits and licensing deals at the same time. It feels like fighting and dating someone the same week, So
yeah, exactly.
The internet is moving from click this link to AI just tells us the answer. And publishers, if they don't start charging as we speak, they might not have much left to charge for later.
Exactly. Because, we're not looking at search machines anymore. We're looking at kind of answer machines. And that's what everything's turning into, which is kind of crazy for all these publishers. We talked on the show before about, for example, New York Times signing a deal with ChatGPT. And there's kind of lawsuits happening with that right now, actually. But, a lot of these publishers have already signed deals with these AI companies or AI arms of companies. And I guess we'll see a lot more of that going forward if these AI companies want to peddle all of their sources like this, and if these publishers really want to make good money off it, because I think they're going to need to in the new age.
They need to meet halfway, or else it's going to be another war all entirely, and we don't need more wars. Honestly, AI summaries and Google summaries and everything, AI overview has been very beneficial for me as a person because I'm on the run 24/7. If I'm Googling something, I need an AI summary. I'm not going to read a whole blog about something.
Right.
So they need to meet halfway and find a way to merge everything together so that people don't lose their jobs and AI can kind of be beneficial for your day-to-day kind of thing.
Yeah. Make AI love, not AI war, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. That should be the title.
That should be. That's our new book coming out this summer.
Yes.
Well, thank you again, Maria. Appreciate you coming on.
Thank you for having me.
And excited to talk to you next time.
See you next time.
Okay, that's going to do it for us today. Thanks for tuning into the Hustle Daily Show. We're a proud part of HubSpot Media. Our editor today is Robert Hartwig, and our executive producer is Darren Clark. We've got a lot more tech and business coverage in our newsletter. If you're not subscribed, go get yourself signed up at thehustle.co/email and follow us on Instagram at thehustledaily. We'll catch you later.